Hey guys, and welcome to the Emo Van. Today we have best dad ever. Yay!
Yeah,
How are you guys?
we're great, man.
Good.
It's freaking awesome to be here.
I remembered to hit record this time. The last episode I didn't hit record on the soundboard, and the video and the recording are like two different podcasts for the first 5 minutes, which is pretty funny.
That's an F.
But I mean,
Rip.
if you have now, people have to go watch the video and listen to the podcast. And listen to it on Spotify if they want to hear the full extent of what went on during that fun 2 hours. I was here till like midnight last night.
Oh my God.
Oh snap!
The AC turned off and it was getting all hot in here. And I do it in the office that I work in. And
I keep it a freezer in my house. I always have this thing on, dude. My fan's always running
Got
too.
it at 69 degrees in his house. Yep.
Yeah, I do.
Every time we're recording, I'm sitting there freezing and drumming.
Yeah, Ray wears like 6 hoodies. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
the
take
kid from the kid from A Christmas Story when he walks out. all the sweaters on.
put my arms down. Heck yeah, man. It's freaking awesome.
I don't take my AC out of my window until it starts snowing. That's when I know I need a heater at that point. But
I miss the snow so much.
I don't.
I live in the desert, so I've not seen it in like 2 years.
I'd be okay with that. I could take a break. We had some fucking wild snowstorm this year. That I'm talking like up to my waist. We had to dig our cars out. It was fucked up. Yeah.
I've never even seen snow like that.
It was wild. I haven't either. I've never seen that much snow. It was a shit show. We had to dig the cars out.
100 degrees would be a big change.
Yeah, it's like I think it's gonna be like 105 today.
Oh
over
gosh.
here.
Well, it's dry over there, right? It's not that humid. Yeah. It'll get to like 90 over here and it's humid. You walk outside.
Yeah, that's the worst. You can't escape.
It's wet. Air is wet. It's gross.
So
it's
going towards him is like midway going towards Vegas. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but yeah. We're in California. I'm in Southern California. I would say more like towards Riverside. And when I drive up to him, I'm like going towards Vegas. I'm like, man, I might as well just go like another hour and a half and I'm there.
Stop there on the way home or something.
Right.
It's pretty rough. I live near Joshua Tree in California, so it's really hot here all the time. Like this summer it'll get like 130 at the most, and then in the winter it's like 80. But everybody's walking around in like sweaters and sweatpants and stuff because we're just like we're not used to it.
That's so fucked up that's like sweater weather for you guys.
Oh, I know.
Like
I'm originally from Tennessee. I don't know if you could tell, but sometimes my accent leaks out. I swear it's not super bad. But in Tennessee, the winter was pretty awesome. It never really snowed, except for like maybe 2011. I think we had a bad snow. But after that, it just ice is over everywhere. It sucks so bad.
Yeah, that's what it's like up here now. I mean, it snows, but it's just icy and wet. And it's just the worst. It's freezing cold too, and it just doesn't snow.
Walk on your front porch and fall on your ass because it just iced over.
I've fallen a few times, but we got this like rickety ass porch deck thing that's outside of our apartment because we live above a restaurant, and the stairs were like falling apart. There were sections of stairs that didn't have that second board. So like if you weren't paying attention, you'd miss and fall like underneath the stairs. And then in the winter, you just couldn't tell. It was fucked up. But anyways, I want to ask. So I want to get into the band talk because I like to.
Sure.
Because I want to know about the band. So really, this is just such a vague, open question. Just tell me about the band, how long you guys have been doing it, or how long you guys have been playing music in general.
Best Dad Ever is very new. It's very, very new. We started, I want to say, about 2 months ago. we're doing pretty decent for ourselves right now. I would say I'm pretty proud of the progress because I never thought if I started an emo band, I guess, since we're here, we're just an emo band. Like I never thought that we would ever get people to listen to our stuff because I've done music. I've made music since I was like 18 and it's always been pretty bad. But like I don't know. I never had like a weird listeners or people come out to me being like, hey, like come check out this podcast, or like, hey, I've got some people that want to sign with you. And I'm like, holy shit, this is weird. I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. I've always done it just for therapy. Like I never thought people would listen to, what I write and stuff. And then what Ray helps me write. And like, it's pretty cool. Like, but yeah, man, we're really new. I've been wanting to do an emo band for a very long time. And I like never really got the juice because I've just been listening to bands like Glockamora is like my huge inspiration, dude. I love Glockamora so much. I even reached out to them on Facebook right after my wife and I got divorced. And I was like, hey, man, your guys' album, like Just Married, and I know it's very cliche because it's your most popular thing, but it's really helping me out. And they're like, hey, man, keep your head up. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
dude, this is like my saving grace right here. These guys are freaking sick, but I've been listening to bands like that since I was like in high school, and I'm pretty young. I'm only 21, but it's pretty cool. And then the band originally started, okay, don't make fun of us, but we spend a lot of time on the internet.
Yeah.
And I got really sad and bored one night and I downloaded VR chat and I got on.
Same.
And I met Ray on VR chat, like just chilling. Like I was running around like Muscle Man from Regular Show.
Yeah.
And just like yelling at people.
How's it going, bro?
Yeah.
And I
That's
heard
good.
his voice and I was like, yo, there's like literally so many people in here, bro. And he was like, whoa, we're tripping out. We started talking to each other like Muscle Man.
Yeah. And we were running around like our friend Scotty. I haven't talked to him in so long, but he was like talking to some girl and I was like, bro, Scotty is literally simping right now. We were like staring at him from a distance and we're like, we have to save Scotty.
We
were
just
just
Scotty. And like Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know, man. He doesn't know.
But I don't know. It was really weird. We met on VR chat and then like my friend Siberia, I've known him for a long time now and like still don't know his name. So call him Siberia. Wanted me to play some music because he heard me play the guitar. Like I was just fucking around and stuff. And like I played some cover songs for him and then Ray heard it. He was like, hey man, play the drums. You want to like do something? And I was like, all right, cool. And then the rest is history. We met up and like hung out, started jamming and stuff, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool.
I was interested mostly in his music when he started playing like his original stuff. And I was like, I'm a little bit older. I'm like 30, 32-ish. So I grew up around like from first to last era, when Pierce the Veil was just barely being released and like, Of Mice and Men, those guys were just barely coming out and all that stuff. And I actually played in like various amounts of like heavy death metal, like deathcore bands, mostly. But yeah, I still got the long hair because of like all that emo scene back in the day. Skrillex was like one of my inspirations. I know his name's Sonny, but everybody calls him by Skrillex now. But yeah, Sonny, I remember when he was back in From First to Last, kind of inspired me to kind of like try to even start to sing a little bit. And yeah, I've been playing drums for like 16 years now, just about almost 17. And like I said, I just heard his music and I was like, I've always wanted to start an emo band, but every band around this area is like a metal / like metalcore-ish band, like Southern California. But I mean, not to say that it didn't really get me very many places. I got to meet like a Suicide Silence. I got to meet like Veil of Maya, the Black Dahlia Murder, just a couple like really big like metal bands in that scene. But yeah, seeing this guy play and hearing his music, I believed in him so much that I just drove my ass out there and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to start helping you just put this on music and just put it to where we can just put it out there. You know what I mean? So people can hear it. Because so many people, even in VR chat, were just like, where can I listen to this? When can I get this on Spotify? Or when can I get this on Apple Music? So I was like, man, we just need to make this happen. So I was just like, I called him one day and I was just like, you know what, dude, I'm going to drive my ass out there. We're just going to do it. He's got a bunch of stuff there. My drums are actually sitting right.
I was going to say, whose drum kit's behind you?
My drum set's usually right here, sitting right here in my room. Yeah, awesome. It was good. It was a good little adventure, I'd say, for us to meet each other and stuff.
That's going pretty good so far. I forgot to check our stuff today. We've gotten a lot of like attention, which is really sick. We got put on I know it's not a big thing for most people. We got put on the Midwest Emo Essentials playlist, which has like 30,000 likes.
That's awesome.
On Spotify.
That's
awesome.
Dude,
we've been having I saw that a lot of random mixes have been coming up and it's just like made specifically for you. And it's like all just like best dad ever mix. And I'm like, what the heck?
And like, I think because of this, we've only been putting out music. I think the first time we put out music was August 31st or August 30th. And we're at like 689 listeners on Spotify right now.
Almost 700.
Crazy. Like I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah. Like I don't really care about getting famous at all. Like I said, I do this for therapy, but I was like, holy shit, these people like kind of feel what I feel. You know, they dig what I do. You know?
It's wild to see the numbers on things. Like looking at, I'll look at my numbers and they're nothing crazy, but it's like, oh wow, like 30 streams or downloads or whatever. And it's like, wow, people actually are like, dude, want to like listen or look at whatever you're doing. And it's insane when, it's like 2 days later and you're like, what the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think I was that interesting or what I was doing would get attention. You know what I mean? But yeah, I totally get it. So what's it's really fun to look at the numbers too.
Yeah,
it is Spotify's catalog, like the whole podcasting side of it, their numbers don't update quickly. So like I'm in the dark on shit for so long. And then it's like, oh shit, here's all the numbers. But I don't care. It still gives me the right numbers. So I could give a shit less about when it loads up. All right. So I want your name. I love like band names have always been like, why did they name the band that? Like, and one I will never know.
That was Zach's idea, honestly.
Yeah, it was. So the whole story behind it was, I started Best Dad Ever by myself. And originally it was very terrible emo guitar with hardly any effects over it. And me screaming my face off over a drum track that I would make in FL Studio, because that's what I used to record, which is not very popular for bands like us to use. And I was still fighting over my ex-wife, still trying to keep stuff going, but just wasn't. And I remember I finally met with her one day going to the beach, and I got this Rugrats t-shirt at Target because I needed some clothes to get. And when I picked that shirt out, we passed a shirt that was gray and it just had blue text over it, said Best Dad Ever. She's like, yeah, you should get this instead. And I was like, okay, sure. So I just fucking threw that one, and then I got that. But, I got that shirt and I was like, when I started it, I wanted to do something that was like a part of me that I personally felt attached to. So I named it after this shirt. Yeah. But it's really, really simple. There's nothing like crazy. It's like, oh, well, we did this. No, it's just a t-shirt, man. I just named it after a shirt.
Yeah. It's band names are always interesting to me. Like Prince Daddy and the Hyena. He's never told anyone the real. Corey's never told anyone the real what the name is from. He was on Invite the Neighbors a while ago, and the guy asked him, and he was like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you. He just makes up stories for people to when people ask. The only explanation I've seen is on the Wikipedia page. and it says it was a game he played when he was in elementary school during recess. But
Nice.
that's probably just bullshit if he just tells
Yeah.
people fucking fake stories about it. So
You gotta keep people interested somehow.
yeah. All right. So what about influences on the band? I'm going Glockamore is probably one. And then
Yeah.
do you have others that you kind of you listen to and you're like, I like that, and it like makes you want to, well, that's more of like inspiration. Like you're like, yeah, well, no, it still works. Like what do you listen to like inspire you to write music?
I
if
love
that's something you do?
Glockamora a lot. The hard guitar kind of stuff goes in with that. I really like Free Throw and 21 But Not Grown Yet. I actually kind of clipped some of their lyrics and put it in there because I like couldn't go without it for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's like a little Easter egg. Some people have caught on, they'd be like, hey, nice little input you put in there. I was like, oh yeah, dude. But I stole from Tongue Tied, which is one of their most popular songs, but still one of my favorites. Said, did you forget you said forever when I asked how long you'd stay? And I'm like, dude, that is freaking awesome. That is awesome. But I used that. And then I also really like You Blew It. I like, let's see, Free Throw, Glockamora, You Blew It. I don't really know. I'm kind of put on the spot right now, but I just like a lot of stuff, dude. I listen to pretty much, if you show me like an emo band that I've never heard of, I'm just going to like them. Like, that's just how it is. I love it so much, dude. It's all just raw feeling and like you connect with them even though you don't know this person. And I'm like, dude, holy shit. I want to give you a hug right now, man. Like, this is awesome. I freaking love this, you know?
For sure.
But I'd say the two main ones, Glockamora and Free Throw are probably my favorites, you know? And then some fast talking stuff that I do behind closed doors, modern baseball, as lame as that sounds, but you know,
I like
other bands too, like Camping in Alaska, and like I've gotten into Texas Is the Reason recently, stuff like that, you know. But little things, you know.
For me,
I was just about to ask you.
For me, it was more like I don't know. I always keep bringing it up, but From First to Last was like one of the very first emo bands I'd ever listened to back in the day. And then it started with like My Chemical Romance. And then I started to listen. Well, Blink-182, I would say it was kind of like that kind of like punk rock-ish kind of like slash emo-ish. So I don't know if you can tell, but like a lot of Travis Barker inspiration on my drumming. Like Travis Barker is like one of my favorite drummers, and like I would love nothing more to even just like meet the guy. It'd be cool just to even like drum with the guy. It'd be cool. But one of my biggest inspirations just growing up, I'd have to say, was Blink-182, My Chemical Romance, and From First to Last. Those guys were just like, I would say like a different style of emo. And then when I listened to Zach's style of like that kind of like Midwestern style emo, I had only ever heard like Never Shout Never and like a couple other bands that were kind of like that Midwest style back in the day. What is it? Secondhand Serenade was another good emo band, like way back. I'm probably naming some stuff you guys haven't even heard of.
I'm writing down all the ones I've never heard of. I try to take the time to figure those out.
What was another good one that was kind of like an emo? They were called Reliant K, like Be My Escape, like way back in like I would say the 90s. Like they were like a really kind of like early style like pop emo band, I think.
I remember playing a video game with them in it. It was like some dirt bike game.
Reliant K, it was like a
MX versus ATV.
Oh yeah.
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
I was like 10 years old, like jamming to that crap, like riding a stupid dirt bike for hours.
I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, that stuff was great. But yeah, drum wise, mostly a lot of Travis Barker. Just that dude's pretty solid drummer.
One thing I have to mention too is Sports. Yes. With the period at the end. Sports, I got to see, I think it was their last show at the Pilot Light in Knoxville, Tennessee. Dude, I was right in the front, man. That shit was so awesome. Like,
I love them.
I love Sports. I bought like a lot of their records, and like I showed Ray. I was playing one of their vinyls in my living room one day when we were watching some show.
Forgot to say
It was like
Polyphia,
Tacoma
too.
FD. I love that show. It's so dumb. But he was like, dude, what is this? I like this a lot. And I was like, dude, this is sports, bro. Let me open your eyes. Like, let me open you into the realm.
That was good, man.
Sports
Dude,
is
I
awesome.
forgot
I
to-
really love them.
I forgot to say Polyphia too. Those guys are really good, talented musicians. They're not very emo, I would say, but like they kind of inspired me to get back into drumming, especially their old drummer. His name was Brandon Burkhalter. I was just going through some like emotional shit. I didn't really want to play drums for like 6 to 7 years. I just kind of took a break from drums because I was kind of like in a really bad relationship where my ex kind of we just didn't really like to play drums, because she was a drummer and I was a drummer. So whenever I'd play, she'd get really like this, I don't know. It was just very odd, like very obscure. So I started listening to this group called Polyphia. And when I started talking, I talked to their drummer, which is now their old drummer. And he was just like, don't ever stop playing, man. You know, like he had a wrist injury. He completely broke his wrist. Like I was completely fine. And I was just so like down, like, oh man, I haven't played. And then I saw him broke his wrist. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, he's getting back to doing his fucking blasts and like his chops and stuff. And I was like, dude, like it totally made me feel like shit because I was like, dude, I need to get back into playing music. And if I hadn't listened to those guys and if I hadn't gotten like really the kind of just like push from those guys to be like, just don't stop. Yeah. And now I tell people all the time, like, don't stop. And that's why I got the Polyphia tattooed right here on me too. Just to tell people like, hey man, don't stop. These guys inspired the shit out of me. And when I met those guys, they were all really nice dudes too. Like they were all genuinely cool dudes. Scott, Clay, Tim. Those guys are just pretty decent, solid dudes, man. They inspired me to kind of get back into playing music and to believing in myself again, I'd say.
That's awesome. Yeah. Amazing. I had something to say, but I can't think of it. It'll come back to me, hopefully. I've smoked too much weed. It's damaging my short-term memory. So this is another one I love asking people. How did you guys get into the emo scene? Really? Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. This jogged it. So the other day, you guys know who Grimes is?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's Elon Musk's wife. I guess she makes music. I had no clue who it was. My roommate brought her up and I had no clue who she was. And he was like, damn, bro, you're niche. So I wanted to ask, like, how niche do you feel your music taste is with whatever you listen to, really?
I'm about to look really stupid. I'm going to have to grab my phone and look this up.
What?
Because I'm very dumb.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
means. I don't know the definition of
niche. Okay.
It's
So
like
like
open,
specific,
how
like
open
very
is it?
specific, like you fit into that niche. I had to look it up the other day because I understand what the meaning is, but I can't explain it.
A comfortable or suitable position in life or employment.
What's the most comfortable music like? What's the most comforting music to me?
Well, it's like the other meaning of it is because that's like the business term. It's like your need, like it could be that one thing that you do, like that's your like what you do, and that's all you do. That's the thing you're good at, or that's the thing you listen to, and that's it. You know what I mean?
For a long time, it was Circa Survive with me. Like I just like for good like 6-7 years, all I listened to was Circa Survive.
Okay.
Yeah, that
and
it kind of
same crap over and over again.
Yeah, I would say Circa Survive and like Seosin as well. Those guys kind of like if I haven't listened to them I would say that I'd be very much in a bad spot. If you're saying that's something that just kind of comforted me in a sense.
Yeah.
That definitely Circa Survive. Yeah, those guys are just good guys.
Awesome.
I just listen to Glockamora a lot. The same album over and 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 over again.
I feel that.
It is my pride and joy. I really want to buy one of their vinyls. I found one of them. I'm not going to say the price because I don't want anybody snagging it from me. But
you found one
somewhere secret, and I really want it so bad because it's like a part of me.
Yeah.
And my friend Siberia that I mentioned earlier was like, "No, I'm going to get it." And I was like, "Dude, I really don't want to be violent. I don't like being violent, but I might have to fight you if you take it. I will drive to LA and steal it from you and leave you somewhere." Like, I have to have it. You don't understand.
Yeah. So a lot of, a lot of people buy vinyl in the emo scene.
Yeah.
But I like buying the cassettes more. I like the cassettes. I have nothing.
I have like 2 or 3 Marietta cassettes that were like OG. Like,
That's awesome.
That's all I have, but I know I'm pretty proud of them. My friend got pissed because I got them all for like $40. And they're like legit. Like I bought them off some dude on eBay, and it was like the ones you bought on Bandcamp. Like I got the gold one for As It Were with like Marietta and white font. And you flip it over, it says As It Were.
That's awesome.
And he was like, "Dude, I really want that." And I was like, "You can't have it.
It's mine."
You can't have it. It's mine.
I don't even have anything to play them on. I just buy them because I think they look nice.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll buy like a little cassette player, but I don't.
I was thinking about buying this like really shitty like 1961 Volkswagen Beetle. I don't know anything about cars, so if we go into cars, I'm gonna be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just know what year it is because I saw it on Facebook Marketplace for like $3,000, and I was like, this better have a tape player in it, and I need it. Like, seriously, doubt it would, but I really wanted it just so I could play Marietta and drive down the road in a Volkswagen Beetle like a freaking gangster. Like,
my first car had a tape player in it. I think my second one did too. I also started that with a screwdriver. So,
hell yeah,
it was a 96. It had a CD player too. It was decked out for a 96, but that's besides the point. Piece of shit.
I'm an avid CD player guy. Like
CDs.
I love CDs. Like I grew up around the time where I saw cassette players be like this big. They were like fucking huge cassette players, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they went from like that to like CDs. And when I heard the quality of CDs, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. And then, I remember when MP3s first came out, and then I was like, all right, MP3 is just the way to go now, But it's always good to have physical copies of something nowadays, specifically where we're all in a digital era. Like even games now for like PC. I remember games back in the day, you'd have to go and actually buy physically a disc for the PC game. My computer that I just recently bought doesn't even have a disc drive on it.
The cases don't even come with the little slot for those anymore, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember floppy disk fucking having to throw in a floppy disk, the actual ones that were floppy, and then they made the little like a scan disc ones.
Yeah.
Man, technology's evolved a lot. I'd say just in 20 years, man.
It's nice
now that we're able to do this even is tripping me out.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, thank God for it. But
super cool.
Yeah. It's wild. I like being able to hold it. You know what I mean? Like you can hold it on your phone, but
physical,
having just I have a Mom Jeans tape that got fucked up because I bought it at the show and I went in the pit and I should have just left it. I should have bought it and asked the bartender to hold on to it, but I went in the pit. It got fucking destroyed, but I still have it. And I've never played it, but it's cool to be able to hold the Puppy Love album on a cassette tape in my hand instead of just listening to it. But
I have a Mom Jeans sticker on my acoustic guitar because I used to be really into them too. Like it's covered up by like a million other stickers.
Yeah.
But it was the first sticker I had because when I moved out, when I lived with my parents, my dad originally gave me this guitar. He was like, don't put stickers on it. You're going to ruin it if you have to resell it one day. I was like, oh, I don't want to sell it. And I finally move out. And now I'm just like, dude, my dad's probably going to be really upset that I do this, but fuck it. And I just
throwing stickers all over. Yeah.
Speaking
mainly
of guitar,
like anime stickers.
I just recently got my electric guitar, and hopefully this weekend, or actually not hopefully, but this weekend, I'm going to be taking it out there, so you can see if you want to do something with it. I don't know. You can jam on it or something. But yeah, tons of things, man, coming soon, dude. I'm excited.
That's
and
good.
I'm
That's a good
pushing
thing.
out
working
music very
so
fast.
fast.
That's
Jinx.
awesome. Yeah.
It's because I'm kind of scared about it, but at the same time, like I go in very weird phases of like, because right now I've written all the music except for 10 Years, which is a song that Ray sings in on Nothing Special.
Mhm.
And everything else is all me. And then Grown Up Like a Weed was really bad, I have to add, but it was an improv. So if that makes sense for everybody that's listening, like, hey,
Yeah.
don't judge me. But like, anyways,
It was good. It's one of my favorite songs, honestly. It really
what was I
is.
saying?
New music,
About the
everything
music,
coming fast.
music, how we're pushing it out fast.
Oh yeah, we're pushing it out really fast, and it's kind
and
of
it was
scary
scaring
'cause
you.
whenever we do that kind of stuff, I don't want people to be like, just dead to it later. Like we got to record 2 songs that I really want to put on an album before I have to move out of my place.
Yeah.
And I want to do at least 7 or 8, but I got 2, and I'm scared if I keep pushing out music like this, like people are just gonna be like, oh, best that ever released another thing, how
Yeah.
lame. Like we've heard it all before, and I'm like, dude, I really
But
don't
they
want that to
haven't,
happen.
though. They haven't, because I've honestly haven't really put much on these tracks. Like I've been doing the most simples of the simple things, on these tracks. If we really wanted to, if we really just sat down, we'd throw some really insane stuff.
Awesome.
I know it, man. I know it, dude. I believe in this for so much that I've been driving out there every weekend to jam with him. The only weekend I didn't go out was last weekend because I had a bunch of like family stuff to take care of. But yeah, for the past 3 weekends now, I've been going out there. Almost,
It's all good
almost.
because last weekend I went on an alcohol bender. So
Yeah,
I was just drunk all weekend.
So put it this way, here in 3 weekends, we've put out
9
more
songs.
music. We put out more music that I've been working with my band, the other metal band that I've been playing with for like the past 2 years. We put out 1 song.
My brain is just like, I'll be sitting in bed and it's keeping me up, and I'm like, I hear this. I have to record it on my phone so that when I wake up, I can practice it more and make it better.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how I am, because I'll get like that. And like I said earlier, I'll go in phases where I'll write a bunch of stuff and then I'll have nothing for like a year. Like, it's just, I don't want to not take advantage of what is happening in my brain right now, because sometimes I'm like, oh God, I really need to write something. And I hate, my biggest fear is being one of those emo bands that makes music, but you don't feel what you're singing. Like feeling is like a huge thing for me, dude. Like I never, ever, ever want to write something that I don't feel, because then you're just fake. Like it has to be real. Like that's what people dig. And that's, like I said, I do this for therapy. Like and if people are going to listen, I want them to feel it. I don't want to be like, well, here's the song I wrote, guys. Hope you like it. Like, no, I want to go up and be like, hey, I wrote this song and I use real people's names in it because they affected me. This is it. Like
I told you, man, the day that I listened to so after we had got done recording for the 5-track EP, and then it was released, like while I was there, it got released on Spotify. Like we had put it out like a day before, 2 days before, and then like the day after it was released on Spotify. So on my way back home, I'm driving on my way back home, and the last song, the Zach sings, the Grown Up Like a Weed, dude, I just started getting like emotional, man. I really did. Like, and not to, just because we're on the emo channel, but I genuinely started getting emotional, and I was like, dude, this, like, I felt that like super hard. And also is that me and Zach have gone through a lot of stuff. I know he's told you about, the stuff he's been going through with his ex-wife, but I just got out of a 10-year relationship, which is the reason why 10 years is called 10 years. And then I remember there's another little part that Zach sings on that song, is that if I could see myself 10 years from now, I'd probably stop myself from hurting. That part right there. Just like kind of just ripped me up, man, because yeah, it's just
kind
it
of
just
cheesy.
it did rip me up, dude. Though, dude, it was it made me relate and self reflect that all the 10 years that I was kind of with my ex, I was just in probably the worst pain because I couldn't be happy. I didn't want to be happy. I didn't, there's a lot of shit I was going through.
Yeah.
Personally.
That makes good music though, right? That's a plus.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah. So the whole like feeling, the
This
whole
alarm.
My alarm, yeah, keeps going off every 5 minutes. So
That's
yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna have to actually head out in another 5 minutes here right now.
Okay.
I'll stay. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be but yeah, like
So the
good.
whole, I'll do
Yeah.
this real quick so I can ask you this question, Ray. But the whole like feeling what you're saying or singing or performing or however, you know what I mean? That's a huge part of what like drags me into certain bands, like the emotion in their voice while they're singing it. And that's something that definitely pulls me in. And that I definitely hear in your guys' music too. So it's like,
dude, when I
can-
heard
it's-
Zach singing that stuff, dude, like
oh, it's real, like it's real. You know what I mean?
it's
You
raw,
can tell
dude.
when it's
raw.
real. For sure. And I've
Thanks.
heard bands that it doesn't sound, it doesn't, they're just singing a song compared to like
Yeah, they
sounds
like
telling
pretty.
you
they, like,
something.
start a band. They're like, okay, what genre are we gonna be?
We need to be
Let's
sad.
do Midwestern emo or math rock. And they're like, okay. And then they come up with like
Pop rock.
a
Yeah.
weird guitar lick, and they're like, this sounds like it. And then they sing, and it's like, dude, sorry, man, I don't really feel anything.
Yeah.
Like, but kudos to them for trying. Seriously, like, I appreciate a lot of artists because I've always taken music very seriously
Mhm.
when it comes to writing and stuff, and I try to be there for people. I don't know why people come to me for advice because I literally I have nothing to offer. Like all of our songs kind of sound the same, but
You can't, it'll
It's
never
just-
be as bad as Rage Against the Machine. It can't be. There's no way. No one could be as bad as they are with the same sounding songs. But
See,
Or
I grew up in an era where I listened to a lot of that stuff though. Like before I was introduced to like emo and kind of like heavy metal, I listened to all the basic shit,
Oh,
listened
yeah.
to fucking Led Zeppelin, fucking Pink Floyd. I still have The Wall.
those are the gates. Those are the gates.
yeah,
to the
Rush.
you
genre.
got it.
I
Yeah,
listened
you
to
got to get
Rush.
through those to get to everything else.
Right.
When I was like 14, I was into Nirvana. That's all
Yeah.
I played on the guitar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Then I turned 17. I'm like, okay,
You grew up.
Radiohead. Then you go turn 18, you graduate high school, and then like all your friends are gone. You're like,
Shit.
huh, what's this band? What's this group? Crywank. Interesting. Like,
Fuck.
this is sad.
But to be fair though, growing up, I did listen to a lot of Korn and Linkin Park, so that was kind of like my gateway to like a style of metal, I would say. Like
Mhm.
Korn
Mhm.
specifically, I listened to a lot of Korn growing up, and that was the first, I would say, style of like heavier rock that I listened to. And in this group called Cold, I don't know if you've ever heard of Cold.
So they're playing. They're playing at a venue near me. Like literally, I could walk to it right now and come back, and it'd only take like 4 minutes. But
That's sick.
yeah,
Cold, yeah, those guys were, I would say, those guys were a good part of like the reason why I got into metal and stuff. But it was because of WWF, because they were like a part of like the introduction of that year or some
okay,
shit like that.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of older stuff, 90s stuff like POD,
They played at the venue too
hell yeah,
last
dude.
weekend, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Just a lot of older stuff that kind of got me into that stuff, that
Yeah.
style.
The like there's definitely those bands that you find first. You know what I mean? That kind of
Right.
like, and then you're like, I like these guys, and then you end up finding those deeper like bands further down that arguably might be better or whatever, or you just like more because of what they're, you know what I mean? It just gets more and
More
more
meaningful.
specific. Yeah. For sure. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Before you go, Ray, I definitely want to know how you got into the scene, like when you kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of like really got into it when you're like, I identify with this scene of music now, and this is what I'm going to listen to probably for until I die.
Well, I would say when I first heard it, I would say it kind of just pulled me in. I was probably like 14 at the time. I had only really listened to Blink-182. Like I genuinely really only listened to Blink-182, Linkin Park, and like a couple other bands at the time too. This was like I would say 2003-ish, 2000, and then around 2004, buddy introduced me to from First to Last. This was like I said, it was my very first introduction to this style of music.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's voice sounds very interesting. Like I really like how much emotion he's putting into this. Then came like Circa Survive, which actually for the longest time I thought Circa Survive was a woman vocalist. I actually genuinely thought that they had a woman as their vocalist. And I'm like, wow, this chick sings really good. And then it turns out that it was this guy named Anthony Green. And I ended up loving them. One of the inspirations why I sing is because of Anthony Green. Is just the way he sings is just, I don't know, it's just great. I would say I was about 14 at the time. And as soon as I heard it, bro, like I said, it just pulled me in. It was just something like, I don't know about the lyrics, about like how they were just so vulnerable in their lyrics and how they just said what I was physically and mentally kind of going through at the time. It was something I could relate to. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do, is when they listen to something that they feel like they can relate to, then they just love it even more. And it surprises me, like Zach was saying, it surprises me. Well, I would say no, it doesn't come to me as by surprise really, because I genuinely knew when I was listening to 21 but not grown yet, I was like, this part right here, we have to have a champ. I was like, this part we have to have, like, I kind of just like felt like we like I can just hear people genuinely listening to this. And
The chants were pretty fun to do because we had friends come over. We all just screamed in my bedroom for like 20 minutes.
It was pretty fucking fun, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I was surprised, or a little overwhelmed when I saw the how much Zach was getting a bunch of like, oh man, this stuff's good. Like even on VR chat, I was like, man, dude, and I told him so much, like, dude, people are gonna love this. People are gonna love this. And I'm surprised. I'm overwhelmed a little bit. And even that we're doing this, like it's that you're interested in doing this with us. Like, I appreciate you, Garrett, very much, man.
Of course. I appreciate you guys coming on. It's
for sure, dude.
It's insane.
Anytime.
It's crazy to me how many people answer just in general. But yeah, I really appreciate the answers and people coming on. But yeah. So okay. Your turn. How'd you get into the scene?
Oh, dude. Honestly, like the scene, like maybe I was like 18. I just graduated high school and I was dating this girl at the time that I'd been trying to like date for 10 years, like on and off. And I was like, I'm like a really weird dude. Like if I find something I like latch onto it forever. And I was like pretty into this person, but then, things got a little weird, like just disinterested, I guess, in each other. Like I started doing things like, hey, you want to come over tonight? It's like, nah, I'd rather stay home and just play video games. Like sad. But like, and then I would like lay down in bed, look at my ceiling fan. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I get on YouTube a lot. I got on YouTube so much. And in my feed was just always just random albums of bands. And I would get into I got into like a cringy, like indie rock stage where it was like, I don't even consider it indie anymore because most of them have changed to like weird techno-y, like pop like stuff. But
yeah,
my intro was probably Remo Drive when I was 18 and they had released greatest hits. And I was listening to Greatest Hits so much, and I was like, dude, this fucking rocks. Like, this is awesome. And then I was really scared. I'd heard bands like Marietta and stuff at the time because it was recommended, but I was like, oh, they kind of sing bad, but the music is pretty good, you know? And then like, eventually I'm just like descending down this like deep, dark hole. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude, everything sucks. Like,
Everything sucks.
like, then I actually listened to like those bands like Marietta, Old Gray, like Snowing was a huge one. And I was like, dude, what the fuck was I doing? Not listening to these people.
Yeah.
Like, Snowing is fucking awesome. I listened to them so much. I would go to my friend Tyler's house, and I was really weird. Like, I never did drugs with him, even though I really wanted to because I was just scared. But like, fucking, I would like listen to his records with him, like Elvis Depressedly, Modern Baseball, you know, Tiger's Jaw, freaking Snowing. And I was like, dude, I have to hear more of this. Like, we would watch videos all the time. Like, we would get bored. If we had nothing to talk about, we would just grab the TV remote without saying anything and just turn on like music videos, Tiny Moving Parts, freaking Sunny Day Real Estate, all that stuff. And we would just sit and vibe. And I'd say I'd had help getting into the scene, just kind of opening my eyes a little bit, because I got tired of just like listening to this music. And then it's kind of weird saying this, but I would show it to my friends and they'd be like, yeah, I really like this. And then they would listen to it. And then I got like my whole school listening to Hippocampus in like 2017. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm an asshole for this, but I'm not getting any credit for showing anybody. and, like, I don't know. And I listen to that music and now I show people and they're like, oh yeah, it's good, you know, whatever. And I'm like, you don't like it. Like, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
You don't get it. But
Dude,
you know,
that's totally accurate though, what Zach was saying about when you hear something for the first time, you're like, where the fuck has this been? Like, why haven't I listened to this? That's how I feel about a lot of bands that Zach has been showing me. Like, he's like, dude, listen to this group, listen to Glockamora, listen to all this stuff. I'm just like, what is this, dude? Like, why have I not had this in my life? Like,
there's all that surface level. There's these surface level bands that like will connect you to that next level.
Yeah.
But you can easily get stuck on the surface level stuff.
like,
You know what I mean?
you just gotta look around, honestly. And some people are just too lazy to do that. But I'm always just like, there has to be more. There has to be more of this, you know? Like,
Oh yeah.
I found Park Jefferson through, I can't remember, I think it was through Marietta. I found Park Jefferson through Marietta. And I am like super into Park Jefferson too. Like, when I saw it, I was like, Marietta, like 70,000 listeners. Wow, that's pretty low. And then I go into Park Jefferson, it's like 5,000 people.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Mhm.
Like, this shit, like, I want to say like it should be surface level, but at the same time, I don't want it to be because it's so good.
I have like that feeling of like, I don't want it to be popular. You know what I mean? You got that weird feeling of not wanting it to be popular. But I mean,
it ruins the aspects of shows, like the shitty stage and like 50 people crammed into a bar.
Yep.
And everybody's feeling that shit. Like, it ruins it. Like, nobody wants to. I don't want people paying $60 for concert tickets to see me 1,000 feet away on a stage. I want to be able to like reach out and fucking touch people, man. Like, oh, what's up, dude? In the freaking back, like, what's your name? And I can hear him. You know, like, it's just, I don't know. I like to connect with people and stuff. I didn't mean to cut you off, dude. Like,
no. Who cut who off? I don't know.
I was like,
whatever.
there's this venue in California called Chain Reaction. I feel like Zach would absolutely love this place because it's genuinely a small, very, very small venue. It fits maybe maximum capacity by like 150. but people, there's so many times where I've seen like 200 plus people in there, just like squished. People standing on the side of the stage, people standing like up, like it gets packed. So
that's how that Pilot Light concert with Sports was. It was actually hosted for Lions. I don't know if you've heard of them at all.
No.
But Lions is a local band from Knoxville.
And
they're like a more mathy, they're like a more mathy kind of feel. And I love them so much. But Sports played right before Lions, and everybody was just crammed in this thing. Like, they moved all the tables and chairs behind the stage in this bar, and so many people were just crammed in there, like against the sides, because there was no room to stand, or like just, it was just awesome. Just this big like clump of like 50, 60 people here to see these bands play, because, you know, they were just so small, but so powerful at the same time. You know, it was awesome.
Yeah, the smaller venues, that's my favorite. Like, I have to go to Boston to see anything because I live in New Hampshire and there's nothing around here that like I'd want to go see. But those smaller venues, like I went to O'Brien's Pub. I don't know. I think the people I went to go see were opening. It was Corey from Prince Daddy, his like solo stuff that he's been doing.
Yeah.
And there was maybe like 10 people in there for that.
That's sick.
Show.
Better,
like
more personal,
not including the other bands that were playing. But it's just so, I don't know. It's so much better. And I mean, I've been, you know, when I go see the Front Bottoms, my favorite band, that's like the biggest show I'll go see. I gotta go.
That sounds like a fucking sick name for a band, the Front Bottoms. That's cool. So another band really quick before I leave, really quick, another band I would say that inspired me, early Dance Gavin Dance. Early Dance Gavin, like very, like before Tillian joined, and how they kind of like what they are now as like kind of like this really big, huge band now. They used to have this vocalist who was kind of an asshole. His name was I forget his name now. The original vocalist. Johnny Craig. His name was Johnny Craig, who now is, I think, in a band called Slaves. But Mercari, I would say Mercari, definitely look those guys up. Mercari. Those guys are, I think they're called Mercari or Maricari or something like that. But I have to go, y'all. I appreciate y'all very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Tonight or tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, I'll probably, you know what? I'm probably gonna come tomorrow morning around like early this time, because I'm up this time right now, so I'm probably gonna wake up early tomorrow.
All right,
I'll be coming early as hell. Garrett, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks
it
for bringing us along the Emo Van.
Of course.
And you have a good one, brother.
Yeah, you too.
All right, it's just me and you, man. One-on-one.
Awesome. Okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, one of the biggest places I'll go is like to a Front Bottom show or like a concert hall. I know the Mom Jeans has been selling way more tickets than they normally do, so they got upgraded at Worcester, the place in Worcester, to the concert hall instead of the upstairs. So that'll be cool. But like, yeah, the smaller venues are definitely where it's at. There's no
for sure.
I don't want to go to a big venue. I mean, we have like a place that'll hold like 10,000 people here, I think, and it's like the worst experience I've had at shows, because it just doesn't feel. No one's there. Not everyone's there to listen to the music. You know what I mean? There's like 30% of
like, live music. Let's get high and just
let's
like
get high and drunk.
Like,
yeah, it's a glorified bar. Fucking Meadowbrook. I hate it there. But that's besides the point. Fucking hate that venue so much. I can't get over it. I used to work there. I used to do photos for them. Took photos of the guys.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's like, it was such a weird. Some of those dudes were so weird. Brian Adams, he didn't want pictures taken from the left side of him, which was odd. You know, just weird things, you know, but whatever. I don't do that anymore. But yeah,
That's so weird. No one like pictures taken from the left side of you.
I don't know if like, maybe he had like a scar on that side that he didn't like showing or
guess.
something like that. You know what I mean? But I didn't.
Yeah.
It was just fucking odd. Pitbull was there the other like 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Everyone
geez.
I remember everyone that I went to high school with went to go see that show. Seeing everyone's Snapchat stories like, yo, I'm at the Pitbull show. And I just like, you spent like $80 on a ticket to go see Pitbull. I don't know. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem
that's-
doesn't
I
seem
don't
worth
know.
it to me. Doesn't seem worth it to me.
Yeah, that's not really it, dude.
Yeah, that's not what you're not. I don't know. I'm not trying to go to fucking go see Pitbull. Like people like, you go to these shows. Tickets are like $10 to $15.
Yeah.
They're cheap.
The
They're
Pilot
cheap.
Line one
They're
was
cheaper,
$5 to get in.
right? I almost went to one in Connecticut that was free. Just donations at the door. So it'd be like, and like obviously I'd donate. I'm not gonna like show up to a show for like a smaller band and not give them any of my money. That's just shitty. But
Yeah.
I mean, like those, and people ask me like, oh, how do you get tickets that cheap? I'm like, well, I mean, these bands aren't that big. What do you mean? How do I get tickets that cheap? They're like, you should buy my tickets for me because you seem to get the good deals. And it's like, I
Like,
can't.
no.
No, I don't get deals. This
Everyone
is just
gets
what
the
it
same
is.
deal.
Yeah,
Just show up.
you don't like. I know you don't want to come to these shows that I go to, which
Yeah,
is
they
sad.
probably
No
stand
one.
around and just be like, what the fuck is
What is
happening right now?
what is this? You're enjoying this? Like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. Of course I am.
This is awesome.
This
Yeah,
is the
this is
time.
like
I'm having the time
relief.
of my life right now. But
yeah.
I mean, I brought my roommate to a show. I went to go see Tiny Moving Parts, and
Oh,
that
nice.
was if you heard of Fredo Disco, that kid they were doing some stuff for a while, and I was real into them, and I kind of went just to go see them, and I brought my roommate to that, and he had a good time, but it's like he's not gonna want to go to a show every month, back when
Yeah.
you were able to go to a show every month. But
Yeah, because of COVID and stuff.
yeah, that was sad. Oh man, I bought so many fucking concert tickets when people started releasing tours. And like concert shows that I wouldn't even normally go to. I was just buying
Just to
tickets
go.
to buy tickets.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be cool once I finally get to go see some of the bands that I've been itching to go see for a while.
We're excited to play some shows. We haven't played one yet besides like little house shows
Yeah.
here at my place.
Mhm.
But we have been talking, or I have been talking to the bassist of this band. If they hear this, I'm really sorry if I butcher your name because I've always been too shy to ask how to pronounce it. But I think it's like Flower Blase or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very small band that hit us up on Reddit, just like you did. And we're like, hey, man, we're from the same area, like 3 hours away. Do you want to like play a show with us? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to play a show with you guys. Just like still pretty new. So just give us a couple months to like practice our stuff. And then we'll make sure it's like the best we have to offer,
Yeah.
We're hoping to play in like November at some shows. They have a venue over, they're from Palmdale.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really recommend listening to their stuff. They're very good. Very nice people. I've talked to their bassist and I've heard a lot of good things about the other members of the band. I can't wait to meet them.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to them a lot, and we always like shout each other out like on Instagram, just show support and stuff. Cause I'm like very inconfident about, the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
And I just do it for therapy. Like when people tell me that they like my stuff, or like I put something on Instagram, it's like, hey man, tell us something, and you put it on the story. And people are like asking me questions about lyrics. Like somebody asked me like, has Annabelle covered her ears yet? And I'm like, damn, you actually listened to it. That's cool.
That's a good one. That's a funny question to ask. Unless it's a very serious lyric. I don't know.
It's pretty serious, but I was like, hey man, I can't get upset about this stuff. I put it in a song and they relate to it, like
yeah, for sure.
it's whatever. I'm overall doing pretty good over that stuff, but it's just, you know, when I wrote about it, I was just like, that song was really hard for me to record.
Mhm.
A lot of my songs are very hard for me to record. And I have to like be like, hey, Ray, don't get offended, bro, but I need you out of the room for a second, you know, like, because I'm not very comfortable right now with signing with anyone or anything, because I just don't want to be bound to anything like, hey,
Yeah.
you have a year to write this. And I'm like, fuck no, I'm going to write music when I feel like it.
Mhm.
You know, like it sounds very stubborn, and I don't know, I might go as far as say conceited, but I don't want to do something for someone else in terms of like how much stuff or what I produce. It has to be what I want. So we record in my bedroom when we feel like it. And like people are hitting me up and stuff, be like, hey, you know, it'd be really great if you guys had a studio. And I'm like, no, I'd rather not. I'd rather just have what I have here, because it's raw and I produce everything myself. You know, I'll just get better as time goes on. And it'll sound like I'm in the studio eventually,
Yeah.
you know, but it's cool. The stuff that people do, even like mean things. I'm just like, wow, you listen to me enough to say something mean to me.
Someone
like,
cares enough to say something awful to me, you
Yeah.
know?
like, I don't know. It's weird, dude, because everywhere I go, I have my stuff plugged in, being like, hey, check us out, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't like physically talking about it
Mhm.
to random people and be like, hey, I'm in a band. You should listen to my stuff. Like, like I don't do that. It's weird.
Give me your phone so I can go follow my Instagram on your Instagram. Shit like that.
Yeah, like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, if you want to go out of your way and do it, by all means, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, you know,
You're not gonna
but
push it like super heavy.
fuck no. Like, I don't know. I just, it's really weird because I've never had anything like that. I've been making music for years. I had a side project called Gib for like 3-4 years that I just did like whatever I wanted. I made like random acoustic songs, and then I did like synth pop stuff because I was just bored,
Yeah.
you know. Like it's literally a shit post like page. I just like, hey, I made this. Okay, time to upload. You know, like
yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It I just do it, you know. Fuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I completely get the not want, like you're gonna write music when you want to. And I feel like that's how it like should be, really. Because if someone's like, you got a year and you're gonna write this album, go.
Yeah.
Sure,
get
you can get
fucked.
like two or
No.
three, you could get like 2 or 3 songs, right, that are like yours, and like you mean what's going on in the songs. But after those like 3 or 4 songs, what are you writing after that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I like there's a lot of bands that are signed that, I mean, the Front Bottoms, just off the top of my head, a good example is like them. There's a lot of songs that I don't really like too much, because it's like they're definitely contractually
Having to do
need
that.
to write an album, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
they're catchy and good, but you can kind of tell that some of them aren't like all that Brian wanted to say or anything like that, you know. But like every once in a while they'll release just like one song, like End of Summer is one that I'm like, yeah, this one feels real. Or like their first few albums, like that's legit. Or and then they release those EPs of their old songs, and that's always nice because they're remastered, and it's like he wrote those with like meaning, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but that's like, I definitely agree with the whole not wanting to be told when to write or make something. I think that's a whole.
Yeah, because if I need to take a break for like 6 months to 3 years, I'm gonna do it. Like,
for sure.
I don't want anybody telling me to do that, because there's always going to be inspiration. You just got to wait for it. Because for the longest time, I mentioned it earlier, like I couldn't write anything at all. And when I would write something, I'm just like, all right, it's done. Play.
Yeah.
All right, this fucking sucks. Like,
Trash.
it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm really like, when I write songs, I have to be able to like, do I want to listen to this myself if I was a random person? Or do I only want to hear it once? You know, like, I don't really like listening to my own music. Like people will plug my stuff in sometimes. Like VR chat was an example. People will plug it in
Yeah.
and they'll start playing it and you can hear it through their speakers. And I'm like, oh, why?
I feel
why,
that.
dude?
I force
Don't do this to
myself.
me.
I force myself to listen to these over again.
Yeah.
Specifically
I
ones
listened to
where
it 1,000 times. You're hurting me. I don't want to hear it 1,001.
yeah.
You know, especially like 21 But Not Grown Yet is our most popular song. And I love playing it for people so much. And it's really, I think it's really cool that you put it, I think you put it on the intro to the podcast, right?
No, I did Just Married, I think.
Oh, Just Married? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Sick. Just Married is probably my favorite one to play. But a lot of people like 21 But Not Grown Yet. And when I hear it coming through like somebody else's speaker, I'm just like, dude, I've heard this song so much. And like, this is really good. And I'm like, thanks. I don't really know what else to say. Like,
well, I mean, what are you like really supposed to say? Like when someone compliments this whole thing that I'm doing, I'm always like, I just kind of like, oh, I really appreciate it and things like that. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm being genuine. I really do. And I'm sure you're being genuine when you say thanks.
yeah, of
But like at
course.
one point, like what are you really supposed to say? That's what you're supposed to say, right? You know? And
Yeah.
it just,
Like,
at one point it feels,
I don't know.
you say it so many times, it starts to feel like you don't mean it.
Yeah, I
essentially.
don't, when
But-
people say that, like, I've met a lot of people on that game that play music and they always go so in depth with like talking about the stuff they make when people answer that or when people tell them that. And I'm just like, dude, you don't have to say all that. Like,
yeah.
I think there are a lot of musicians and there's a fine line between a musician and an artist.
Mhm.
Somebody told me that a couple of days ago and I was like, dude, that is really good to hear. And like, I was like, dude, you gotta be a little humble when it comes to stuff like that. Cause I personally, even when I make stuff, I'm just like, well, it's just put together. Even the songs that we have that are popular, I'm like, well, this is put together. Time to put it out now. And I'm not like, holy fucking shit, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I feel that.
I'm not very like talkative when I play or things like that. I'll just go up. I'm like, hey, this is a song I wrote. And then I just start playing. Like,
yeah. That's a lot of people in the scene are like that, to be honest.
Which is good. I think it's cool.
Yeah. They go up and play, or like they'll say something funny, or you know what I mean? They're not very, I mean, I saw Posture in the Grizzly a few weeks ago when I went to go see Jofus, and they're hilarious. They're so funny.
That's awesome.
But they're they're either very outgoing or they don't say anything and they sit up there and drink the whole
I would
time.
love
and
to.
play.
I was telling Ray, I would love to go up to our first show and just because nobody knows who we are.
Yeah.
Besides the other band that asked us to play with them. And I'm like, I would go up there. I'd be like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Zach. We're a country band. We're called Best Dad Ever. This is our first song. And it's something about trucks or something like that.
So
Just
good.
like something to throw people off. Like,
That's so good.
we're here to play some good twangy country for you. And they're all like, what the fuck?
What's
Like,
really? And you can start with a few
How did they
like
get
country
here?
chords or something. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Yeah, the whole like, not a lot of people are very talkative when they go up. From what I've
Which is totally
from what
okay.
I've seen.
You know?
Yeah, I like it. They get right to the point and they play their songs. But
That's what's up.
that's always, yeah. It's always interesting seeing how someone performs, because there's definitely people that perform a little more wilder or like better than others and things like that. But I haven't seen an emo band that I haven't liked watch. Like that hasn't performed well, I guess, if you know what I mean. I've never
It's
been
kinda
like, wow,
hard
they're
for
not
Ray and
good
I.
performers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of hard for Ray and I to like match up with other people because we're a two-piece and
Yeah.
there's like a lot of stuff missing for things like that. So I've been trying to make up for it, because when we play, that's why we needed so much time to practice, is because when we play live, I would like to be good enough at playing our songs to where I can play like the chords and riffs at the same time. Like, I'm not an expert guitarist. I've only played like maybe 9.5 years.
Mhm.
And I would just really like to, I want to go up there and just like, we're two people. So they're going to be like, oh, fuck, where's the bass? You know, and we're like, fuck, we have to like do something really good,
Mhm.
or else we're going to get just shit on, you know, like, because a lot of people in the scene are very judgmental, and I don't blame them, because the music taste is so like precise.
Yeah.
It has to be so good for people to listen. But we have some people lined up to play bass, but none of them have actually shown. So we're probably just going to stick with the 2-piece when we play live. But hopefully it turns out good, because, you know, like every time I sing the songs, I sing them almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, Origami Angel's a 2-piece. I don't know. I've never seen them live. I'm going to go
I've
see
never
them
seen them live
this
either.
year, but I don't know if they play as a 2-piece live. I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm not sure. But I know they're a 2-piece. They're fucking insane. They're crazy. Their
Dude,
newest album's
the
fucking
guitar
wild.
work is phenomenal.
It's insane. It's crazy. That whole shit's fucking crazy.
So awesome.
I know I know it's like good, you know what I mean? But I know nothing about music. You know, if you know what I'm saying. Like just
Like theory and stuff.
yeah, theory.
Yeah, I know none of it.
Or just like understanding how it comes together, I guess, which is probably just fucking theory and if I really think about it. But yeah, I know nothing at all. I just like emo music. Like I get asked every once in a while if I'm in a band or if I play any instrument, and I don't, because I can't. Well, it's not that I can't, but it's like I'll do this for the community. I don't think I'm gonna start a band or anything.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
23
an awesome
and
idea,
I feel
dude.
like
the podcast, such a cool idea.
yeah,
I didn't
thank
even
you.
know like
It's-
somebody was willing to do something like that to like
There's-
reach out.
yeah, there's a few. So Who's Up Next does a music one, and he Justin the Flora God does it, and it's more like any type of music really, it seems like.
Mhm.
And then there's Invite the Neighbors, and I had him on. That was like my third interview I did, and that one's not getting released because he has a band that's releasing an album, and that's going to get released when the album is starting to come out and all that stuff. But
Okay.
and then he does like DIY bands, so really like emo bands, punk bands, and like the DIY scene out in Detroit. And then there's a few other ones, you know, that do like washed up emo is like a huge one. That's like the big, you know, the big time. I know that
Yeah.
they do more like older, like the older stuff. Like he talks about Jimmy Eat World a lot. You know, like
Mhm.
like the top level emo stuff that was going on when it was coming up in like the 90s. It seems like
Yeah.
more to me. I haven't really listened to it much because I'm not super into that era. Although I appreciate that era, I'm not like super into it. Like the first,
No, I'm the same way.
like the first like 3 waves of emo, even though it's just like it's all emo music. I'm not super into
Yeah.
the first 3 waves. And then there's mine, which is just strictly emo and punk stuff. And it's, I mean,
Yeah, dude.
if someone else if another type of artist wanted to come on and they reached out to me, I'd be like down to do it. I just
Of
mainly
course.
reach out to like the punk and emo scene. And when I finally get a van, I can like drive out and actually meet these people that I've talked to
That'd be
or
sick.
going to talk to. But that's gonna be like a whole fucking other thing that I need to fucking get money for. Because right now I just use all this equipment that my boss owns. Like I'm
Hey,
sitting.
play the cards you're dealt, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and he doesn't give a fuck that I come in and do it. He just, you know, as long as it's not like interfering with things that he needs to do in the office and stuff. Like I'm literally sitting in the room I work in every day, which is kind of depressing. Like I woke up this morning and I was like, fuck, I need to go into the office. But then it's also like, but I get to do exactly what I want to do. I mean, this is insanely fun. So
Yeah, of course.
anyways, all right. So we're at like an hour 15. The last one I did went 2 hours. It was fucking insane.
That's fine.
These guys were hilarious, but those guys were hilarious. But I have questions that I ask everyone. I mean, I ask almost everyone the same exact shit. But these are like the main 3 things that I always ask because there's usually some good stories behind it. So the first one, like pit experience, like being in a pit. I know there's some good stories. I personally don't have any crazy stories, but it's the guy from Unsigned Punk. He had a Unsigned Pop Punk. He had a fucking crazy.
Oh
he had
yeah,
a
I listened
he
to
had
that
a
one. That
very
one was
funny
sick.
one about some porta potties getting destroyed.
Yeah, the porta potties.
And the Misfits. He was just walking through Warped Tour, and he walked through like the no man's land of a Misfits pit before they started playing. So, but so like any like pit stories or anything that you have that's just you would like to share.
I've been in like 2 pits, but I'm a pretty tiny guy. Like I weigh like 165 pounds. I'm like 6 foot tall. So I'm like built like a soccer player. So like, I don't know, like I think I've been in one, and it was at this local band concert with like death metal and black metal bands, which isn't really my gist, but I went because my friends wanted me to go. And I saw a bunch of people I went to high school with because they were all very like into that like surface level like genre stuff.
Yeah.
And like I've had pretty bad experiences. Like when I was there, it just smelled really bad. Like it was just gross. Like everybody was running into each other and I was scared to touch anyone because I'm like a bit of a freak about like germs.
Yeah.
Like it was just weird. Like I don't know, people were bumping into me and stuff, and I'm like, haha, mosh pit, please stop touching me. Yeah. but that one, and then remember the one at the sports concert, this guy started a pit, and I was like so new to listening to that genre. I was like, this is a thing here?
Yeah.
Like I was confused. Like we were listening to sports play stuff off of Demon Days.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy standing next to me, I was there and I was wearing like short sleeve shirt, said like Normal Parents on it. It was like a brand that I used to buy all the time. I don't know if they're still a thing, but I was standing there, you know, just chilling in the front and stuff. And this guy was like rocking back and forth and like hitting me to the side and stuff. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, he couldn't hear me because it was so loud. And like, I don't know. It was, I've had like very uneventful experiences because like, I don't know. I'm just weird. I'm a really weird guy. But he was like bumping back and forth to me and like bumped into everybody else. And it turns into a mosh pit. And I was like, I don't want to leave the front. I have to stay here. And I was just getting beat the fuck up. Like
that's
just,
that's what happens. So I get to shows extremely early for certain people. Like Mom Jeans, I'll go like 6 hours before doors. Front Bottoms, I'll go like 8 hours before the doors because I want to be right. I want to be barricade. And I just call it the wave when they get up. The wave always happens when the main people get up. Everyone just bum rushes the stage. They just run forward and you just get shoved to the front. When you're barricade, it's not terrible, but anything behind barricade, you're just getting mashed into
like
people.
Human sandwich.
Yeah, it's so fun. I find it funny. I remember it was the first time I went to go see the Front Bottoms, and like these kids were there, like children, like 13, 14 tops, you know.
Holy shit.
On the floor. And
somebody's gonna catch a charge.
Yeah. So one band comes up and people were like getting rowdy. I forget who it was. It was they might have been Australian and they were pretty punkish. I can't remember who it was, but they played and they were pretty cool. and the parents were able to hold back the rowdy people from like pushing up onto the kids, right?
Yeah.
And but the front bottoms come on and all hell breaks loose because it's like the main act. And I'm talking
Yeah.
just whoosh, everyone to the front. They can't hold back like what, fucking 1,000 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
there's no
whatever,
way.
how many other people were on the floor, like 800, whatever. And I remember hearing like them complaining about it and like having to like snake out of the pit and like get out of there or get off the floor. And I was like, what did you think was gonna happen? It's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I felt bad for the kids because they were all like shocked, but like those parents should have bought mezzanine or balcony tickets because it's like that. I mean, the front bottoms aren't that rowdy, but I mean, come on.
The people are.
The people
you
are
know?
gonna, they want to get to the front. I've been to a few of their shows. I've had people try to crawl underneath my legs to get in front of me, which is
That's
weird.
like
And I turned around. I was like, what are you trying to do? Like, get here earlier if you want to be standing where I'm standing. Like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, but if you can't see because I'm too tall, you should have got there earlier. I'm not gonna let you cut in front of me at one of those shows if I'm barricade.
For
You
sure.
want to crowd surf? I'll lift you up. I'll put you on my shoulders. I don't give a fuck, but I'm not giving up my spot.
Yeah.
But I start pits. I'll start pits. I've started a few pits. They're fun.
Nice.
I love pits. I'm
totally cool with them now. I just didn't know what was going on at one time. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
but
happening
it's kind
right
of
now?
like a shock that some of those bands would have pits. You know what I mean? Where like
Yeah.
you listen to their music and you're like, oh, this is sick. I don't think they'd get rowdy. And then you go to a show and you're like, oh shit, huh? People are getting rowdy.
Yeah, I was like vibing. I was like, swinging side to side and stuff. I was like, everybody here is pretty sad, I guess. And then this dude starts bumping into me. I'm like,
this
oh,
guy's
fuck.
really
Like-
sad.
like really sad. They want to hurt me. Like,
I'm like 200 pounds, so I got some weight to throw around, so it's not as bad.
it's like perfect mosh.
Perfect mosh weight.
Yeah.
I
I
can't.
get thrown around like a rag doll. I'm a
People
small
don't like
dude.
it
Like,
when I
you see
crowd
my
surf.
wrists, like,
Yeah, people don't like it when I crowd surf, but I still do it anyways.
fuck it, dude.
I've hit the floor a lot. I've jumped off the
I believe
stage
it.
to nobody. Yeah, and surprisingly, the floor isn't as hard as you think it'd be. You get right back up. You're okay. I almost broke my leg once doing it, but
Oh my God.
I jumped and I didn't land. I somehow manipulated my body to land back on my feet, and like my knee buckled back. And
Oh,
like
shit.
if I had put any more weight on it, I probably would have just gone. And that would have been a fun experience. But luckily that
That's a
didn't
rip.
happen. Yeah, that would have been fucking awful. All right, next one. Do you have any tattoos? And do you want
I
to show
don't,
them?
but I really want one.
Okay. What what would you get?
So my dad and my uncle and like some of their friends all have like some weird like Japanese like writing stuff on their neck. I've never asked them what it meant
Mhm.
because they're like, I guess it's something to do with like the military or whatever. I don't know. My dad and
Yeah.
my uncle were both in the military, and I joined too, but I don't do high speed stuff like them. I'm in like a headquarters unit. I just kind of chill and do radio operator stuff.
Okay.
And then sorry if that offends anybody. I don't kill anyone, for the record. So
More
hopefully I'm a
respect
good
from
guy.
me.
But yeah, I want to get, mine's pretty lame. They all have the Japanese stencil art, and I wanted to do one, but I'm kind of a huge nerd, so I wanted the Demon Slayer like destroy like symbol
Oh, okay,
on my
okay.
neck.
That'd be
But
pretty sick.
that's what I want right now. I'd probably get it here soon, but I'm saving up to visit somebody here soon, so it'd be pretty cool to like go visit them first before I got a tattoo. I think it'd be
For
way more worth
sure.
it.
All the stimulus checks I got went into tattoos. I kind of wish I
Mine
saved
went
some
to
money.
anime figures to put on my shelf. I have like a whole shelf of just like, I don't know if you can see this,
Yeah,
just like Dragon Ball Z crap, like everywhere.
tight.
And then I've spent mine on two like really expensive Attack on Titan figures because I was like really into that at the time.
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm like a huge nerd when it comes to stuff
No,
like that. But
that's
I
totally
love
fair.
entertainment. I love television. I love movies, like indie films.
Yeah.
Like I love that kind of stuff. So anytime I see something, I'm like, I have to have it. I'm like a
Yeah.
really bad impulsive buyer.
I've gotten better about it. Spending all of it on my tattoos was better than like going out and buying like lunch every single day, because at least like I get
Yeah.
something to keep, you know.
I buy a lot of food. I eat a lot of pizza.
Oh, it's bad, dude. I used to go out to lunch every day because I work in like downtown, so it's like I'm near like a sushi place, and I'm near a sandwich shop, and I'm near
Oh, that's awesome.
a burrito place, and that's about it. And they all close before 8 o'clock, and after that, you're just like on your own, or you eat Domino's. But
Yeah.
speaking on saying that you're a nerd and stuff, I have a whole Adventure Time sleeve, and it's
That's
fading.
sick,
It's
dude. Let me
fade-
see that.
It's
Hold on.
fading in and out.
See Lemon
I-
Grab, Lumpy
So
Space
I can
Princess.
show you it a little bit better after this, when I can
Sure.
shut the background off and everything. But I got quite a few tattoos. I'm an Eagle Scout, so I got the
Hell yeah.
fleur-de-lis thing. I got
That's
a really
sick, man.
shitty. I got a shitty dagger. I got a misspelled one that I've shown a few times.
That's sick.
It's fucked up. I got it done in my apartment a while ago, but people are always like, "Oh my god, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I gonna do?" I
It's
don't
a
really
misprint. It's an original misprint.
Yeah, I don't really. I could start saying that. I don't really have many options here, man. I don't want to go. I'm not gonna go and pay someone to remove a tattoo, and I don't really want to pay someone to do a cover up. So like, I'm kind of stuck with it. Luckily, it's on my bicep, and I only really wear t-shirts, so no one really sees it. But like when I'm
Yeah.
at the beach or something, I'm like, fuck, dude, this is rough. This is a rough one. All right. So this next one, I don't like asking it the way I have to ask it, but because
all
like
good. Don't worry about it.
like guilty pleasure music, I don't think that's a thing. Is like you like what you like. That you listen to what you want to listen to when you want to listen to it. So is there anything that you listen to that you'd consider guilty pleasure music, or like it's just not in that genre that you listen to?
From the scene, I still listen. From the scene, it probably may seem like a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, why?" But I love listening to Radiohead like a lot, and I like what else? Radiohead, and then let's see. I really don't listen to a lot of like really like popular stuff anymore that I could consider
Yeah.
guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Most of my stuff is pretty like down there, but Radiohead. I listen to some Nirvana still just because it's nostalgic. When I was like 14, I feel like Kurt Cobain, whatever. I grew my hair out really long, but it was like an undercut, so I could pull it up because I played soccer.
Yep.
So, what else? Nothing really else, dude. Like I don't know. I just
You're
listen
really
to it now.
stuck
I'm like,
in what you listen to. You know
I'm
what
not
I mean?
like, yeah, I'm not like, I don't know. If I hear like my friends like will play classic rock, because ever since my ex-wife moved out, I've let my buddy stay with me, and he listens to a lot of classic rock and stuff.
Yeah.
He like listens to AC/DC, and like he like plays it a lot, and he's like, "Yeah." I saw a tweet. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the man who rocks," and I'm like, "Wow, this shit sucks." Like, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I'm not a fan of like super popular stuff, mainly because I'm just like an asshole, I guess. But
Yeah, I feel that. Definitely.
I guess guilty pleasures, Radiohead and Nirvana. I guess
Yeah.
none of their popular stuff. I like the demo tapes of Nirvana. The demo tapes were sick as fuck.
Awesome. I listen to the Adventure Time soundtrack all the time.
That's sick.
That's something
I actually listen to Scott Pilgrim's soundtrack a lot.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. That's good.
That's my go-to, the soundtrack, or like songs from the show or anything like that.
The Adventure Time music, honestly, when I think about it, is like really underrated. Like it's
very
actually really good.
Yeah, I don't know if Rebecca Sugar had anything to do with it or not. All the times I like look into it, it doesn't really seem like it. Like she doesn't. I know she did all of the stuff for Steven Universe, but because that was her fucking show. But she probably did some of it. I don't know. I'm a huge Marceline's my favorite, so that's why I just love Olivia Olson too. So those are my go-tos. All right, this next one, it's a game I do at the end. Do with everyone. So I name off some bands. I name off 10. You just the first word or like idea that comes to mind when like you hear the
just
the
anything.
band. Anything that pops into your head, just first thing.
Okay.
This first one is always going to be on the list no matter what. I don't care what anyone says. I don't think someone said something good about it last time, the last episode I did, which was cool. Most everyone has something not nice to say. Not really not nice, but like they're not into it.
First thing that comes to my mind is probably gonna be like a random word. So
that's
brace
okay.
yourself.
That's okay. The front bottoms.
Couch.
Okay. The Get Up Kids.
Never heard of it. I don't know.
No, they're so
an
like
alleyway.
Sunny. So they were around when Sunny Day Real Estate was around. They were like Midwest. They did a lot of Midwest stuff, and they were like, in the 90s ish. Jimmy Eat World.
Scott Pilgrim.
The Menzingers.
Toothbrush.
Charmer.
Red.
Coldplay.
Terrible.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. Billie Eilish.
Annoying.
Okay, another good one. Slipknot.
Fake.
Nicki Minaj.
Ew.
And finally 311.
Amber. It's my mom's favorite song, I think.
Only reason I know who 311 is because of Eric Andre.
My mom and dad like 311 a lot.
If someone asked me these questions and they said 311, I'd probably say Eric Andre. But the guy so this is kind of funny. My cousin he lives in Boston and he does stand up out there, and his name is Matt. And I was trying to find him so I could follow him on this account, the Emo Van account. And I looked him up and I used my last name, obviously, because we're cousins. And I looked him up, and the guy that is the guy that runs out on the Eric Andre show and yells into the mic, investigate 311, and then 311 starts playing. Same name. And it's in his bio, like the 311 guy from Eric Andre show.
That's awesome.
I thought that was pretty funny. All right. So that's all I have. This was great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it immensely.
Seriously.
I love doing this stuff, and it's so fun. And everyone I've talked to so far, it's just been awesome. And you guys were definitely awesome, and I really enjoyed talking to you guys. But I'm just rambling now, trying to fill space for no reason. So, plugs. You got any plugs? Anything that's coming up that you want to mention or anything like that?
We're working on an unnamed album at the moment, and we're playing shows in Southern California in November. If anybody wants to keep a lookout, just follow us on Instagram at bestdadeverca. That'd be awesome if you guys could like check us out and stuff. We're pretty small and new, so any constructive criticism would also help a lot. But all that stuff, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you. I'm going to, I got to do the thing I always do. I'm going to end it. And then I got to do the thing I do each time. So this was the Emo Van. Maybe one day we'll actually do it out of a van. I'm going to play the song now again for the outro. I'm terrible at doing outros and intros. It's insane how bad I am at this.
Good.
But it's okay. People will deal. Yeah. It's the middle part that counts. The intro,
Facts.
it can be and the outro can be the contents is good. Is what needs to be solid. And I think this was pretty solid. So I'm going to play the song again for the outro, and I'll come back and we'll shoot the shit real quick about where I'm putting it and everything. All right.
Sure.
Thank you again. Best dad
Thank
ever.
you, dude.
It was awesome. As always, one day I'll have a van and we'll do it out of the van. Thank you guys.